You are listening to Power Marketing with Kevin Lee. Here's Kevin.
One of the evolutions I've noticed over the years, because I started in regular mainstream Madison Avenue agencies like J. Walter Thompson and McCann Erickson, and then went digital. And early in digital, obviously, we didn't have the same flexibility that we have now. But one of the things that's definitely changed, and not every brand has been able to go through this change, is to move from a command and control messaging environment to empowering, in particular, influencers now to sort of be themselves, right? And recontextualize the marketing message into their own framework, because the more scripted it is, the less authentic it seems, right? Whereas when you really empower a celebrity or an influencer to sort of take that core message, but then communicate it in their own way, subject to perhaps your systemized method, right? That's going to come off way better than this command and control mentality. So when a brand comes to you and is still in this command and control mentality, and they think everything's got to be heavily scripted, what's your trick to get them to realize that they have to empower the creatives at the edge, right, to really take it and run with it?
Yeah, so I think that there's two angles to that. First is with the influencers is understand hopefully you understand that you're engaging the influencer because you believe it speaks to your core audience and connects with your core audience through their way of delivering content. And I see the problem that you pointed out all the time is we have to rewrite creative briefs for companies, because if you're just telling them you need to do this, say then, and all of that, most of these influencers just grew through their authentic connection with their content. And the more that you police that, the more that you restrict that, sure, you'll get the message across in the exact way that you want. But typically what's going to happen is your performance is going to be driven down. So let's just say the average video from the influencer is 100,000 views. The more that you restrict that, it's going to push it down to 20,000 or 10,000. So the first part is choosing influencers that you trust, looking at their content and knowing that they're not going to go unhinged with that. The second thing is, if we take it just to marketing in general, that's why we always start with research, because if you start with brand guidelines to inform the ideas and the content that you create, you're minimizing the impact on data. And at the end of the day, we really need to understand what drives performance. We need to be able to produce that performance, and then we can figure out how to layer brand into it. Now, again, it's not about completely changing who you are and how you represent your brand, but it is changing the way that you're delivering that content. Because, I've worked with multi-billion-dollar corporations, and they have a 100-person marketing team, and their average post is getting 10 likes. So it's like, are you just going to keep doing that over and over again just because it follows your brand guidelines? Or do you really want to break through that performance? Because you can always layer in brand later, but if you start with brand, like nobody ever logs onto social media that says, I want to engage with some great branded content. They want to be entertained. They want to be engaged. They want to fill a void in their life. They want to feel connected to something. So that's the first place. And I'm going to say it's a challenge. I'm not saying that we are successful every time in convincing the brands to do that. But if you want to have performance, if you want to successfully get your message to the masses, especially organically, you have to fundamentally change the creative process that you follow.
Kevin Lee's Power Marketing is available on all your favorite podcast networks. Kevin loves helping businesses excel at marketing. Having marketing challenges? Just like Santa in The Miracle on 34th Street, if Kevin can't help you, he'll know someone who can. Find him on LinkedIn, subscribe, or follow.